You have always been best friends with the number 2 hero, Hawks, and being with him was a roller coaster of emotions. It started when the both of you were new to the scene. He was an aspiring hero that made his name at the age of 18, while you were working under Fat Gum. The two of you were both sent on a mission together, and from there, your friendship bloomed. Hawks asked for your number and kept pestering you with texts like, "How are you, chickadee?" or, "Dude, wanna fly with me?" And you never complained. Throughout the years, your friendship with him only grew, and you developed feelings for him. Of course, he, doesn't know. The only people who know about this were Kirishima, Tamaki, and Taishiro. All of them, yes, even Tamaki, has pushed you to be honest with Hawks. But you would dismiss it. Come to think of it, you weren't the one to risk it all because you had feelings for him. If you did, and he didn't feel the same, it could ruin your friendship with him, and you didn't want to lose him. That was the last thing you wanted to happen. You sighed, leaning against your chair, making Kirishima look at you. He was currently helping Tamaki with paperwork. A stack of unsigned papers stacked on his palms as he passed you. "Hey, senpai, are you okay?" he asked, handing the papers towards Tamaki. You looked up toward the ceiling, eyes flickering from one light bulb to another. Tamaki peered over Kirishima to look at your conflicted face. Tamaki has been under you and Fat Gum for quite some time now, so he knew if something was up with you. He sighed softly, before nudging Kirishima's shoulder, making the younger hero look at him. "They're fine, Kirishima. They're just caught up in their own little world," he quietly said, placing the paper down on Fat Gum's desk. You looked at him and furrowed your eyebrows together. "You don't know that, Amajiki-kun." I do know that, senpai," he retorted at you. You simply stuck your tongue out at him as Taishiro entered the room, a paper bag in his hand and a wide smile on his face. Kirishima and Tamaki greeted him, bowing their heads, while you waved at him. He laughed at them before handing them a paper bag, which was filled with food. As the two of them thanked him, Taishiro looked at you. "Hey, what's up with you?" he asked. You groaned, rubbing your face with the palms of your hands. "Nothing to worry about, Taishiro," you said, "but you forgot you've been working with him for years now. He could easily see right through you." He smirked at you, tapping his chin. "Could it be, I don't know, because of a certain bird?" "Oh, fuck you," you thought, and glared at him. He simply laughed and patted your head. "You're too easy. You know, one day he's gonna find someone, and you'll miss your chance with him," he said, pinching your cheeks. Kirishima saw how Fat Gum was pinching your cheeks, so he joined in too, continuing the pinching as Fat Gum let go. The idea of Hawks being with someone? It made something in you snap. You've been through so much with him by your side, and you're not going to lose him to anyone else. As Kirishima kept pinching your cheeks, which were surely reddened by now, you stood up, making him yelp and jump away. With your reddening cheeks, you looked at the three of them. I'm gonna tell him." Relieved sighs escaped their mouths. You were an excellent person, an even stronger and better hero. So, them watching you pine after Hawks was painful for their part. You fished out your phone, and, to your surprise, saw a text from Hawks himself. "Hey, Birdie, movie night?" You smiled, your heart fluttering as you replied to him. The both of you planned to watch movies in his apartment, something that would frequently happen in most weekends. You remember the time you met Hawks, the same charming and charismatic aura never leaving his figure as time flew by. He made you feel at home at times when you were lost, always there to place you under his wing and fight off your demons with you. The both of you would laugh until the morning with never-ending stories on both sides as the two of you laid on his bed, staring up at his ceiling. He was your rock to lean on, and you were his. He promised himself that he would protect you with every last feather he had. He swore, one night when the both of you had a slumber party in your apartment. As the day ended, you waved goodbye at Kirishima and Tamaki as you walked towards the direction of your apartment. Of course, your hero suit was long forgotten, and now replaced with civilian clothes, with a mask to help you maneuver around the crowd without getting their attention. But alas, you were suddenly picked up in the air by two strong arms hooking around your waist, lifting you into the sky. Your breath hitches as you latched onto your captor, closing your eyes as you feel the air becoming thinner by the moment. A familiar flap of wings floated through your ears, making you open your eyes. "Takami!" You shouted in annoyance, squeezing his shoulder tightly. "Ow, ow, ow!" "Hey, chickadee!" He winked at you, looping in the air as you held on tightly. Underneath the moonlight, his blonde hair waving in the breeze, his golden eyes filled with joy and sparkles, and his vermilion wings spreading out widely. God, he was gorgeous. He looked down at you and smiled. "Why do you look like that? It's not like we haven't flown before this," he shouts as he did another loop, flying in between two tall buildings. A yelp of surprise passes your mouth, and he holds onto your hips, making you feel secured. You looked at him and groan, pulling your mask down. "Shut up! You could have called me and not kidnapped me!" you shouted over the gushing wind. "Now where's the fun in that, chickadee?" His cheeky grin makes your heart do flips inside you, and you hope he doesn't feel it. This man, Hawks, is the only being to ever make your heart flutter without even trying, and he doesn't even know that. Well, not yet. As you punch his shoulder, he threatens to let go of you, and so you quickly wrap your arms around him, burying your face into his neck. "See? You can't live without me." He laughs, gripping your hips once more. There was light banter between the both of you as the two of you arrive at his apartment. He sets you down on the balcony, a wide grin on his lips as he steps next to you, stretching his arms in the air. "Oh, that's one way to work out," he said, and you shot him a glare before sliding the door open, letting yourself in. The rest of the night is spent with you and Hawks, just being yourselves. Your casual clothes are discarded again and replaced with his, a large hoodie and a pair of sweats that he had lent to you. You two ordered from different restaurants, getting your favorites and munching on them while a movie runs on his widescreen television. Around 10 in the evening, the movie is replaced with playing Mario Kart. Of course you beat him, and when you won the last round, he sighs out in frustration. It turns into wrestling and running around his apartment. He just hopes no one files a noise complaint with you screaming in joy as he traps you in his grasp. Midnight strikes, and the both of you are sitting on his balcony, sipping your own cup of coffee as you look out into the bright moon shining down on the quiet city. You glance at Hawks as he sits next to you. His features are softened now, bringing out his beauty even more. He notices that you were looking at him, so he looks back at you. Your breath hitches as he smiles, something swirling within his eyes. I need to tell you something," he softly said, a blush slowly forming on his cheeks. Your eyes widen. "Could it be? No, there's no way." He breathes out, rubbing the nape of his neck, eyes flickering around the balcony. His eyes land on yours as you listen to what he has to say. I'm dating Rumi." After that, Hawks hasn't had a movie night with you. He saw your eyes becoming dull as he rants on about how he's been seeing Miracle, saying that she's perfect and such. You did so well hiding your emotions that he thought you were actually happy for him. He drops you off at your apartment that morning. He outstretched his hand for you to do your secret handshake, but you simply walked away from him. He tried to call you, but it would go straight to voicemail. He's tried to invite you over and over again, even to go as far as to wait for you outside your agency. But you always had some excuse. Oh, I'm sick today. Or, I can't, Hawks. Got a lot of work to do. He doesn't know what's wrong, and it's been affecting him lately. He was your best friend. There shouldn't be any secrets kept between the both of you. Right? Hawks leaned back against his chair, his girlfriend snuggling beside him as an action movie plays on the screen. It's been 3 months since he's last seen you. You and your stupid face. He swallows a lump in his throat as he thinks about you even more. This was wrong, he thought. He was beside his girlfriend, and yet the only person he could think about was you. Meanwhile, you've been doing good. Definitely good, and even the guys could see it. You would smile more often, invite the 2 younger heroes for sushi, and be on patrol with them despite you hating it. You've been doing fine without Hawks. You managed to repress your feelings for him, and you moved on. He's with her now. He's happy, so you should be too. Handing Tamaki a cup of tea, you sat beside Kirishima as he rambled on about his classmates, who all seemed super powerful in his stories. He was on a story where Kaminari and Sero pranked Bakugo when the radio attached to your belt buzzed.
Attention all heroes in the North District. There is a villain within that area. Hawks has already been deployed, but needs reinforcements.
Hawk's name went over your head as you stood up, alerting Fatgum about the situation with both Kirishima and Tamaki throwing away their food in the trash can. As soon as Fatgum gave you the go signal, the 3 of you ran towards the site, the location given by dispatch later on. You arrived at the site, instructing Tamaki and Kirishima to evacuate people. Suddenly, there was a big explosion from the building the 3 of you stood in front of. Tamaki activated his quirk, using his tentacles to grab you and Kirishima as he jumped to safety, placing you down. He looked at the area, eyes landing on the fallen debris of the pavement. "Sun Eater! Red Riot! Go!" you shouted, and the both of them ran towards the panicked civilians around the area. You spoke into the radio, asking for ambulances, when a pair of vermilion wings flashed before your eyes. You stopped, turning your heel to run at the figure lying on the ground. "Hawks!" You looked up, face littered with small cuts and bruises. You saw a figure outstretching their hand towards him, but everything was blurry, and there was a ringing in his ears. "Hawks! Hey, Hawks! Can you hear me?" He blinked, and then he saw you. After 3 long months, he finally saw you. A small fire caught up in the light building material was illuminating your face, giving it a homely aura. Your orange-tinted eyes reflected on his face, sparkles within them. Were you always this pretty? He thought. You grabbed his shoulder, shaking him lightly. He was out of his trance, and then he coughed out, smiling widely at you. "Hawks, I thought I told you to call me Takami," he said, before groaning in pain. You grabbed your radio, giving them a heads up that Hawks is injured. As you spoke into the radio, your eyes flickering around the disastrous scene, your hand was still on his shoulder. Pain shot through his body, but he didn't pay attention to it. Instead, he was quietly looking at you as you looked around, speaking into your radio. With your soft hand on his shoulder, you felt at ease. Everything was going to be fine. Even if he broke a rib or 2. It was going to be fine, because you were here. "That villain was compromised, by the way. Ugh!" He groaned in pain. "Little fucker wanted to put up a fight with the wrong hero." He was expecting you to retort, but you simply nodded at him before saying the villain is ready to be captured, alerting Sun Eater and Red Riot. Lowering the radio down, you look at him and smiled softly. "Hey, Takami." Mirko's on her way. Something in him snapped. He didn't want Mirko. He didn't want to wake up beside her. He wanted you. Fuck. He wanted to be with you. He hummed, shaking his head. Want you instead, he mumbled, grabbing on your hand. You furrowed your eyebrows. What? He was mumbling things under his breath, squeezing your hand as he stepped in and out of consciousness. Suddenly, you slipped your hand out of his, and he whined. Another hand, slightly bigger than yours, was placed on his cheek. Hawks, darling, I'm here. But he wanted you. Keigo Takami wanted to be with you. Days passed and life continued. Hawks broke a rib, and Mirko was beside him, helping him recover in any way that she can. Yet, as the day passed by with Hawks laying in his bed, the thought of you never left him. He would sleep throughout the day and dream of you. It was hurting him, and it was unfair to Mirko. Hawks, Mirko called out, sitting on the edge of his bed. Lowering his phone, he looked up at her with a gentle smile on his face. She smiled back, placing a hand on his knee. I know. He froze. I know that we've been together for 4 months, yet you don't look at me the same way you look at them. When I came to your side on the day you were injured, you were looking at them in the way I want you to look at me. He sat up, wincing as he did so. She smiled at him, pushing him down gently. You don't even let me call you Takami like they do, and... She smiled again, her eyes becoming glassy. I understand. Just... please don't do to me what you did to them, or I'll break your wings. She laughed, making Hawks smile softly. Thank you so much, Rumi. You deserve someone better than me. I know that too, Birdie. You, on the other hand, were in your apartment, watering your succulents that rested on the round glass table in your balcony. As he finished up, about to close the sliding door, a flap of wings alarmed you. You whipped your head towards the edge of the balcony, and there he was. Takami, a hand wrapped around his chest and a pained expression on his face, sitting on your balcony. Hey, lovely. Rumi told me we deserved each other, so I came here. You laughed, hissing in pain after. With a small plastic cup in your hand, you threw it at his head. You dumbass! You're gonna hurt yourself! Come inside! You shouted, grabbing his arm. He followed you inside, laying on your bed as you instructed him. You were fuming, saying things such as he was such an idiot for flying and he should have waited until he was okay. Your cheeks were tinted pink as you rambled on and on, flicking his forehead. Have I ever told you that you're the only one who I visit at night? Some people want to be in your place, you know. He winked at you, and you rolled your eyes, slapping his shoulder. You absolute dumbass! Shut up! You huffed, standing up to close the door. What's up with you? Someone teaching you all these mean words to say to me? He said, and you laid beside him. Yeah, actually. Kirishima came by with his friend Bakugo earlier, and I made them spicy ramen. He gasped, faking hurt in his tone. Whoa, wait, you never cook for me. He whimpered. You never asked, you said, tapping his cheek. A realization came to you as his words from earlier echoed through your mind. Now that he was lying beside you, his scent indulging you in a mix of sleep and cinnamon tingling within your nose as his golden eyes stared straight into yours. His wings were relaxed behind him, fierce red feathers sticking out in different directions. He grabbed your hand. I think I might be in love with you. How many times have you said that to your poor victims? He smiled as he pulled you into his chest, snuggling closer to him. Only you and the chef of my favorite restaurant, he assured, burying his face into your hair. You giggled softly before carefully wrapping your arms around him. You're fucking dumb, Takami. And I'm happy for that. Keigo, Dove. He kissed your head. You can call me Keigo.
Yes, sir! It's time for Hawks!
I was born for this! Every single moment in my life has led me to this moment. Some of you guys have hypothesized that Hawks is Sky Daddy. That's not Sky Daddy. Sky Daddy is the ethereal being who is very disappointed in you whenever you do heathenistic things, like listen to Anime Boy fanfiction on YouTube. Your friendship with him only grew in as you will. Attention all about the situation with before handing them a paper bag, which was filled with food. Fat Gum brought Krispy Kreme, hey! Because of a certain bird. Aw shit, listener, he's on to you. How does he know about your crush on Big Bird? I wasn't watching Sesame Street, I swear! The same charming character before sliding the door open, letting yourself in. Is his apartment just unlocked? I feel like as the number 2 hero, you should probably have better home security and a pair of sweats that had what? Where was I? While a movie runs on his widescreen television. See, you got a widescreen television and you don't lock your door?
I am confusion.
I'm dating Rumi. Sheesh. That's gotta hurt. The guy that I kind of be into is Rumi. With both Kirishima and Tamaki throwing away their food in the trash can. Excuse me! We do not waste food in this household! If you don't say, excuse me, waiter, can I get a little to-go box, por favor? And then put that mess in your little hero pouch or whatever. Especially Tamaki! If you don't eat that food, that's my little post-rescue snack. We shall not waste food in this household. I don't know how many times I have to tell you guys. We are on a budget! From the building, the 3 of you stood on front of the men. When a pair of vermilion rings flashed over that, you spoken to the Rumi told me we deserved each other, so I came here. That's a way to show up. Hey, yo, how's it going? My ex-girlfriend said that you and me deserve to be together, so I flew over here, or whatever. You can call me Keigo. And you can call me D's nuts. Please don't call me that. Guy that I'd never be into a guy that I kind of be into, from a guy that I'd never be into a guy that I kind of be into. Is he worth it? Jeremy, is he?